We're gonna shut that off. Back. All right, y'all. I'm trying to come back. I'm trying to come back here. Let me get X back up. And then chat is everyone, so we can fix it this time. Shoot. Maybe I can connect back to that one. I'm back. All right. Getting there. We're getting there. Stick with me. Man, light mode is just crazy bright. All right, I can get my light back on here. Maybe it's better in the dark. Might be better in the dark. Whoa. All right, there we go. Get some music. Let's try this one. Let's try this one out. Oh, that's not good. That's not a good sign. There we go. All right, this is going to take me just a minute. I got to get everything brought back up here. All right, we got that back up. Let's see if this is still lost that. This one? Oh no, that's not it. That is weird. Why can I not find the conversation? I'm struggling here. What is going on? Yeah, it's not that. I cannot find it. I don't know what happened to it. That is so weird. I've never had this happen before. Oh, maybe it's this one. Ah, there we go. All right, now we're good. All right, so now back to it. What we were doing is we ran long mem eval on Squire. So we're gonna see results here, hopefully live. Now what I did, it normally uses Sonnet 4.6 as the main agent. But for this test, because I also use Grok 4.1 fast reasoning for like just more worker type stuff, you know, things that doesn't need reasoning, that can just be more instructional. So we use that inside of Squire for cost, to help save cost. So what I did is I ran this because this is pretty much, it's not a lot of reasoning, I don't think, in this eval. It's more how does the memory work, you know, it's more straightforward. So I used Grok 4.1 fast reasoning on this run. It might hurt me, I don't know, but it was definitely cheaper. So this is basically, the data set is broken down into single users, single session assistant, single session preferences. So you're testing for preferences, you're testing across multi-sessions, and then you're testing temporal reasoning. I think we'll do okay on that one. I hope so. And then you check on knowledge update, like preferences, how you update things as you go. All right, so now we're going to kick off that eval. So the eval actually uses GPT-4o, which again, I thought that model was gone, but evidently not. No idea how long this is going to take. I should have told him to create a dashboard for us. So we're also going to do some testing of a local model. And I think I've already had that kind of set up, I hope. Let's see if I can get back to that one. Might be this one. Yeah. All right, no OpenAI key found anywhere. So now I'm gonna have to put you all on a be right back in just a second, I think. I don't think it matters. I'm just making sure where I have to run that export at. Yeah, I'm not putting my API key in there, I don't think. There we go. We are not running that on screen. Let me see if I can do it over here. I should be able to. Just give me just a minute here. Y'all stick with me. I am not going to give my key for everybody to use. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Sorry. Not sorry. Almost there. Almost there. Now let's hope after that painful typing, I did it right. Got it. Quick fix. Quick fix. So, what's everybody else working on? Anybody working on any projects? I think I have X chat working now, so you should be able to drop something in there. Let me know what you're working on. Or give me some ideas on some things. If you want to see something built, we can do that tonight, because I got plenty of things to test a build with. We can test it with a local model. We can test it with Mandrill V2. And I should have asked how long this is going to take. All right, let's do this. Let's how do I want to do this? Let's do it on full screen. So let's open up a terminal. Let's do this full screen. Now this is my custom TUI that I can run my own loop through. It's kind of built off of Claude Code, so it kind of acts like Claude Code, but it's also a terminal, full terminal. I have WebSockets for when we run. I use this method where I run single instances over each other. And that's called what I call Forge. That can all be ran through here as well. So if we go, we have it. And the new model's not showing. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because I have to build it. We had to modify. Alright, cargo, run, install. No. Yeah, that's right. That's not right. No, I had it right the first time. Come on, Brian. There we go. So yeah, we had to do some modifications because when I downloaded the local model, we switched to Llama CP because the tool calls we're having trouble parsing. So running through Llama, it was causing issues. So did I not do it right? Cargo, not run. Cargo install path. Come on, man. Now we're going. Uh-oh, we have official numbers. Quickly looking at that, I will take this. Because I did not build Squire to pass this. So overall accuracy 80%, and I know there are improvements that I can do that will more than likely improve that number. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. And using Grok 4.1 fast reasoning, which is super cheap. That model is, I think it's 20 cents input, 50 cents output. It's slept on. I'm telling you, that model is slept on. This is surprising because I didn't think we really had a lot built in here to protect us from this. And this is basically saying when it doesn't know something, it says, I don't know, instead of making up something. Hallucinating. Yeah, I'm real happy with that. I'm not bragging, but when you see something that is, this was all from my mind, you know, this is building something from my mind, and I have no training in this, none, zero. But I have poured a lot of time and a lot of effort into learning. So yeah, to say the least, I'm a little happy about that, because I know we can make it better. All right, let me see if I think we started a project in Mandrill. Let me show you something cool about this Limix. Well, actually, let me go back over here. Yeah, Squire Eval. All right, so Mandrill is the OG tool that I built to even be able to build with AI. This was the first thing that I built, because I needed a way to manage projects, to keep up with projects, because, you know, everything I'm building is obviously hard stuff. So it's not like built in a day, so it's multi-day. So I knew I needed something to, you know, help me manage all of that. So this is my answer to that. It's an MCP, so Claude Code, AMP Code. I haven't used Open Code, but I'm sure it would work fine. It's just an MCP. I've worked hard to reduce the MCP size down. But yeah, we have projects, so everything is separated by projects, and then you store context per project. You can also have task and track task. Any major decisions would be stored. And I use this every day. I could not build with AI without this. No way I could do it. And I certainly couldn't use markdown files, because it would it's too messy for me. All right, so we've got this context stored in here. So we got this documented. I'm just trying to make sure I don't move on before I have everything I need. And like I said, I think if I used the Sonnet, I think this score would go up. I really do. Okay, let's move on to the local model. I think we built. Yeah, we're built. So let's get back out here. Try to bring this up. Yeah, I still don't see it. So now we're gonna troubleshoot our way through this. I expect we're gonna have to work through quite a few bugs because of moving to the Olama server, and we're using CUDA. So the Llama server wasn't running because when I restarted, obviously that's a problem. Anybody watching live, give me a message in chat. Tell me what you're working on. Anybody working on anything cool? Any questions about my setup? Or tell me about your setup. So it must have not been just the fact that the server wasn't running. All right. Well, looks like we're just changing some configs that it wasn't recognizing that it was hard coded to a default model, basically. So what we did is we downloaded Quinn, I think it's Quinn 3 32B. But it's only loads 3 billion parameters at a time. I have a RTX 4060 Ti. So I have 16 GB of VRAM and then 32 GB of standard RAM. I'm not sure performance wise how it's gonna go, but with it only loading 3 billion parameters at a time, it shouldn't be a problem. It's just how well can it make tool calls. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. And if we can get this running, I have a little project I wanted to work on for us. That if anybody's old school like me, you might recognize this game. It's very basic though right now. Hey, did I tell y'all that Squire got an overall accuracy of 80.2% on its memory? Yes, I'm very happy about that. Again, I did not build Squire to, pass this eval. I just decided to run it on it just to see. I wanted concrete numbers. So, all right, dude, what are we doing over here? So I'm gonna have to build ridge control again. All right. Hopefully this won't take too long. Let's do this. Let's have Squire. Just to show you what I can do with this thing. So again, I use Squire all the time during the day. This runs on my VPS, and so does Mandrill, which is this tool. Again, this is where I run everything I do on a project. Everything goes through Mandrill, everything. And Squire can also access Mandrill. It has full access to the VPS. It can autonomously build. That's not really true, but if I tell it to do something, it can do whatever it needs to do. It has sudo. It's probably dangerous, I know, but YOLO, baby. YOLO. All right, let's tell him switch to project. So it should go to Mandrill. Let's see if I can blow this up for you. It's better, right? So yeah, the multi-session was my lowest scoring, but here's my answer to that. Because in Squire, the way I do the memory is we generate, I can show you actually, living summaries, and these living summaries cover your personality, relationships, goals, interest, any projects I'm working on, and commitments. This is a big one. And then it's designed also to kind of track your well-being. All of this that's being extracted right here through the conversation. All of these extractions get saved, and then they have relationships to them. We have a relational graph. And then what happens is I can run sleep manually, or every hour of inactivity, it will consolidate on its own. So it will take all of these extractions that it has not consolidated, consolidate them, and then generate this living summary. And then based off your user response, we have it split into 3 different categories. It will inject that living summary. So the idea here is to act more like a memory. It's not retrieving something. It just kind of has this context setting there. So yeah. So anyway, the reason for explaining that, this living summary, go back over here. So that living summary would catch some of this multi-session that we were losing by not having that, because we did not use the living summary in this eval. So I'm very, like I said, I'm very happy about all these other numbers, and this one I'm not too concerned about. Now this one definitely needs work. So we'll have to dig into that and see. All right, so now we can go back out of here, start ridge control again, and see if our model is showing up. There we go. I think I said Quinn 332B. It's Quinn 3.5 35B. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to open up the chat window in here. Maybe. Did it lock up on me? There we go. All right, let's make this chat window a little bigger. Then I'll show you what we're going to work on here. Does anybody remember this game? Blew an engine. So yeah, we're gonna have our local model play around with this, see if we can add some things to it. Oh, I got a shift. Got a shift, Brian. Got a shift. All right, give me a second. I got it. I got it this time. I know where my shift is. Ah, blew it. I think that was my issue, is you can't get through even on a rookie round without it blowing an engine. Let me see. Blew it again. All right, let's try it one more time. To get a feel for our bugs. Blew it again. So yeah, you can't get through, and you should be able to get through that first, the rookie mode. It should not be that hard. So we're going to have them look. This is going to be a hard problem for this local model because this is math. So we're going to test it and see. see. Legend, what it's called. All right, so I basically just told it to go the project directory and just quickly said, look at our engine logic, and when our engine is blowing, and it feels like there's not much difference between the rookie and the legend mode. So again, this is a tough problem for a local model, but the tool calls are working. The thinking blocks are not. Uh-oh, we got an error. We got an error. Just a 400. See, did it actually make tool calls? This directory got 13 lines back, got 13 matches. I think the tool calls are working. I'm just having it look at the logs. So that's exceeded exceeded our context window already. Yeah, we gotta increase that. Restart with, let's just try 32K. Man, you can eat up 8,000 in context really quick. What was that, like 3 tool calls? And that's the problem with local models, and if you don't have $10,000 in hardware, you're always giving up something. You're going to give up speed for bigger, larger context window because you need more KV cache, or yeah, KV cache. Let's see. See if I can just hit continue, if it'll pick up. It's thinking. My GPU is in the red. It's running. Still not maxed out quite yet. So it's just what I thought. Same logic for all the difficulty levels. There's no difference. All right, it's saying, looking at the engine below logic in engine.ts, I see that when s.rpms is greater than c.max rpms, engine blow threshold. The engine blows and it makes engine blown equal true. It's the same logic for all levels. The user's complaint is valid when you, the human player, blow the engine. There's no difference between modes. The engine blown detection is identical regardless of difficulty. But it's saying that the problem is that only the AI can blow engine via the overrev mechanic. That's not true. Well, wait a minute, that is true. There's a small random chance the engine blows regardless of player input. I think that is what's happening. I think we stopped again. talking without my mic on again. I'm a pro. I'm a pro at this. I'm telling you. Ooh, 99% on the GPU that run. Speed's not terrible. Should have run this in YOLO mode. So yeah, we're running Quinn 3.5, 35 billion parameter model, which loads 3 billion parameters at a time. Edit failed. Why did the edit fail? I think it got its parsing wrong. All right, we're getting close to our context limit. Now, I do not know why it's stopping like that. That's an issue. So I have some rules here and it's kind of figuring things out. There, he got it. So again, tell me what you guys are working on. Anybody else running local models? And if so, what are you running? So it's kind of struggling a little bit. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna run it so it can do what it needs to. Should be able to start this thread back up. Should have permissions now. Continue. If you're on X, I guess my chat is still not working, so feel free to DM me. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me your experience with local models. How are you guys running it? So I will say this, it's taken a long time to make an edit. That's for sure. So there's a lot of work I think I need to do around giving it, probably on the prompt. I need to, because right now I don't think this thing has any system prompt at all. No, that's not true. We do have one on ridge control, but I might need to adjust it some. It looks like it's trying to make the edit now, I think. Anybody on YouTube, give me a follow, subscribe. I would love that. Thank you. Thank you in advance, I mean. We might be stuck again. What's going on here? All right, it's trying to compile the code now, I think. Yeah, we got issues. Let's see if we can look at the logs, see what's going on. I'm going to verify that I don't have a config somewhere that's limiting tool calls, or it could be that the response or the data that it's trying to get back is too large. See what happens here. That's what it looks like to me is happening. It's hitting intern stop, not a token limit. This isn't a server config problem. The model is choosing to stop early with 9B class model doing tool calls. Continue after tool calls. He's looking for max turns now, so it's not confident it's found the answer here. I hate that about this, that you cannot read up the thread. Somebody say hi to me. Somebody send me if you're on X, send me a DM. I think the chat is not working. That's what I'm being told. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me your setup. If you're on YouTube, I would love a subscribe. All right, let's see what he's saying here. So it's saying it's running its tool calls, but then the model is stopping and waiting. Yeah, let's turn off thinking and see what happens there. So what it's saying basically, again, this is the problem, because I've done this before. This is the problem with running local models, because there's a trade-off. There's always some kind of trade-off. Again, if you don't have $10,000 worth of equipment. I have a RTX 4060 Ti with 16 GB of RAM, and then I have 32 GB of system RAM. But what it's saying is because it's generating these extra thinking tokens, and because I'm not on Frontier equipment, it can start to get lost and forget to make certain tool calls and get confused. So we're going to turn off thinking blocks to see if that frees up some space for us. All right, so let's go back over here and let's exit out. Let's try this again. We're still trying to get it to finish this one edit. To be honest with you, what I'm more interested in with local models is how can they run systems? Maybe not so much the coding part, but how can they handle the simple things for you? Because I'm pretty convinced that you just can't get the coding out of these local models. All right, it did it. So let's just, should reload, but we're gonna start the server anyway. Yeah, it feels the engine's not revving up at all like it should. It's not responding, and way too slow. Way too slow. I don't think our red line indicator is working now either, is it? So there's your answer. Local model. Can't code. Yeah, it's way jacked up now. Way jacked up. All right. Let's get an analysis here of what was done and see what the problem was. I gotta get rid of this. Hold on. My system is getting jumpy again. I may be going offline again. Okay. Might have been my system doing that, making it slow like that, but I don't think so. So I'm having Opus just go check the changes it made. Kind of give us an analysis of, you know, what it did. See what the actual problem was. And again, I know this was a very hard problem because it's math. It's backwards. Yeah, let's just get him to fix it. All right. Tell you what, if anybody will give me a suggestion of a test build, I need something to test a build from start to finish, from idea to completion. Somebody give me an idea and we'll make a test run through Mandrill and I'll show you what it can do. But I need some feedback. So it's reverted to changes, and here I'll show you Mandrill V2. This is the other, my new project that I've really been working on. So I showed you my original Mandrill, and the idea here behind Mandrill V2 is I want to create a app that anybody can use, and not just, this is definitely not for the dev crowd. It could be, but I'm targeting those people that were like me a year ago and that was curious, and you have ideas and you want personal software, you want things customized for yourself. That's the idea here with Mandrill V2, is you're going to be able to come in and go to plan mode, and then we have an engineer, and in this engineer has to fill out contracts. So I've been building this way for a little bit, where we define contracts that need to be filled in before you build anything. And the idea here is to prevent drift, because that's another problem when you're working multiple sessions, is, you know, they have no idea what the last one did other than the context you give them. And if they don't go read it, and they're not going to go read everything, they'll assume, they're going to hallucinate, they'll make up. So these contracts are designed to keep them from guessing. So you would fill in a project name, and then right here is where, and again, this is where it's for the beginners to intermediate people, where you're going to vibe code. And then on the back end, I'm trying to take away vibe coding and make it more coding. But here you would dump your idea, and then you would hit start engineering. And then what's going to happen, and this uses Claude Code Headless, is it's going to fill in this contracts with any information that you gave it. Any information that it can't fill in, then it's going to walk you through questions to fill in those missing contracts. Those contracts, once finished, you're going to have a build plan, and they're stored in Mandrill in the database. You can then go to the designer and create your front end. I built some tools in here too that you can use to do, like color pickers, font pickers, to kind of help give you choices. Once your designer's done, it's going to do the same thing and fill in contracts for the front end. And then you can go to build mode, go to contractor, and then your project would be here. Should not have hit that. Let's go back. So Dark Path is a game that was the first thing I ran through this complete workflow and built. It's a hexagon game. It's kind of like Fog of War. Also, we have built in here, so we have the architect, which gives you a canvas with an Excalibur engine. So you can, like, if you're wanting to design a project or kind of learn. The other thing about Mandrill is this is going to hopefully be a learning platform as well. But you can put your drawings on here. Let's do this. There we go. All right, and we can add text. We'll say, can you read this? Question mark. And this is our decision. Can you read? Let's see if it gets it right this time. The other day when I did this, it picked the wrong path. So we're gonna go here and we'll say yes. No. You can give this color. And then what you can do is you have, again, Claude Code Headless over here. You have a chat window that can read this canvas so you can interact. So if I say, can you answer question on canvas with your own So there you go. It actually picked the right direction this time and said yes. But it can interact with you on this as well. So I thought this would be extremely helpful if, you know, you're working on a project and you want to work through some ideas and see if your idea is right. You can have it checked by the LLM. So yeah, that's the architect. And then the surveyor. This is one that I really like this feature. This is Mandrill V2 right here. So now you get a visual overview of your code base. Now I have to work on this view a little bit, but it's going to visually give you a way to see your code base. These are all the files. If we click on one, you're going to get information about that file. So it's going to show you all your imports, all your exports, and then your functions. And then with each function in each file, we have a AI analyze, which uses Grok 4.1 fast reasoning. Told you that's a good model. I'm telling you, it's slept on. And it will read your code base and for every function give you a description of what that function does. So again, try to help you understand your code base. And also the idea here is to help you debug and give better context to your agent. So that is Surveyor. You also get a overview of the your whole code base too. And then we have our newest feature, which is motion. And let's not do that one because that was a bad example. So basically what you can do here, this is just a simple animation. And I just honestly, what was I working on? I was working on something and we were working on some animation stuff. And I'm like, man, I want to see it. Like, I want to be able to interact with it. So that's what I did here. So you can create a simple animation. So if you wanted a splash screen or if you wanted something on your app. So this is what I did. It's just to show motion. It's pretty simple to set up if we do a new one. So again, you're just dropping in shapes. You can change colors from your properties over here on this shape. So we got a color picker here. You can add text and mandrel. You can place that text up here on an object, center it up, and then you can select both objects and then group them by hitting Control G, and that groups it. And then what you can do, now this object, you can add an animation to it. So if you add a tween, let's do Y position this time. And we click on our tween down here, then that brings up the tween properties. Then we can tell it how long. Let's do 3 seconds. And we pick the Y, so that means it's gonna move down this axis. And I put this little grid in here so you can give you an idea where to tell it to move to. So we're gonna move it down to 400. So if we go to the Y position, hit 400, enter. Now this whole thing should slide down. Yep. So that's motion. And that's going to be in Mandrill V2 as well. We actually wired up projects. I think that was last night. So now our projects are working. So where I'm at basically now with this is really kind of wiring everything up and doing some more testing. All right, so let's go back to our red liner game and see. So it found the same reasoning as that local model. Difficulty only affects the AI, not the player. That was the same thing the local model found. And the player's engine gets the same car config regardless of the difficulty mode. So all right, so how it's saying to fix this. So we're on the lower rookie level. We have a bigger differentiation between when we have to shift and the engine blowing. So we have a 500 mile RPM gap versus 80 RPM gap on Legend. And when you lift off the gas, you have a 2% chance of not blowing. I think that's what it's saying. And a 0%. That's if you get into the red line. Yes, implement. So what we're working on right now is this game. Right now, it's almost impossible That was a bad shift. Yeah, and the gas is way too unresponsive. I think this is still the changes the local model made. We haven't picked up the new changes yet. But that's what we're trying to get working. And for anybody that doesn't know, let me see if I can bring it up. I should be able to do it. Let's go this way. There it is. I already have it up. This is the game. This was a handheld game back in like 1980. 80? No, probably 82. This was like the coolest game you could have when you were in grade school, man. Like the coolest. But that's what we're trying to replicate. I don't think X chat is working, so send me a DM. Tell me what you guys are working on. Anybody running local models? And any success running local models? Music too loud, not loud enough. Somebody tell me something. Give me some feedback, man. Get reloaded, so we should be good. It's still way, the gears are not right. It's like it's stuck in a high gear. All right. I started this out as a test for a local model, but now I'm getting serious about it. So now we're going to make this thing right. I'm sending sub agent out to do some red line research. Let's do it this way. I'm full blown in now. Full blown in until somebody gives me an idea on something to test mandrel with. I need a build idea. And a sub agent is out researching drag racing physics models. Didn't think I'd be doing that on a Sunday night. It's searching top fuel dragster transmission club clutch management. Told you we're getting serious now. NHRA quarter mile times. Top fuel dragster engine specs. All right, while we're waiting on that, what can we do? Let's go back over to Mandrill. Cover everything here. I think we did. Let's finish reading Squire's response. It took that job serious. It is still searching drag car formulas. The idea I had here with this thing was to throw it up on my VPS and have people race against each other. Because back in the day, I don't know if it shows it. No, it doesn't show it on that picture, but there was a cable you could have to connect two of them together. And that was the idea. You could race against your buddy. I actually have this idea that I'm gonna recreate all these early games. Somebody's probably already doing it, but if I could find that football game, I'd show it to you. It's still searching. We're going deep. I mean, it is searching valvolineglobal.com. This ought to be interesting. Let's try this. So on Motion, I didn't show you this, but same thing. You can have a chat here, and Let's see if it'll do a better job this time. Are live on X and YouTube. Create a simple to say hi. So just like on the architect, whatever you put on here, it can read, and then it also can interact in. I've got to make this a little bit larger because it looks weird like that. All right, let's see what it did. Hey, there you go. That one worked good. I have one issue, is it the time length is going way past the animation now. So that happened last night too, so I don't know what that issue is. It's like it's running infinitely out. But we'll get that fixed. So there you go. Motion. And we are still digging into the physics of drag racing. I mean, how long is it? 8 minutes and 26 seconds it's been researching. Let me do this. So back to our Squire memory eval. Let's do this. Let's tell it to dig in. The responses. So I'm just having it go back and look at the eval and where Squire missed answering the question properly, to see if there's a pattern there of something that we're missing in our retrieval. I can't believe this thing is still researching physics of drag racing. There's a lot more material on the web than I thought about this. Oh, there it is. So my lovely wife brought me this. You see this? Oops. Let's get it back here. Pick it up, camera. Pick it up, camera. How am I going to do it? There it is. Nope. My blur. There it is, a little bit. All right. Anybody remember this? You had it for a second. Yeah, it's not working. All right, anyway. That's my next Mandrill test. Mandrill V2 test. We're going to build that football game. "12 minutes and 26 seconds and we're still researching physics." Who would know physics would be hard? All right, let's see what it says for the... So it's saying 60% of all the failures on this eval were retrieval misses. It says Squire found the memories, stored them correctly, but semantic search alone couldn't service them when asked. How do you find them? So our worst category was preferences. And this is one thing I thought was going on. We have that in Squire and beliefs in our beliefs and preferences table. It's just not wired up. So again, we got an 80, I think an 80% overall. And our worst category we have in place, it just wasn't wired up. So I think we're going to be okay. So the next problem was multi-session, 40 failures, 30% fail rate. There were counting questions, how many weddings, how many plants. So math. They're bad at math. So something else, enhanced recall. We have it in Mandrill, but not Mandrill. In Squire, but not wired up. And then here we just need to increase our search from 50 to, or from 20 to 50. So none of these are big changes. Let's make these changes. Let's see, we need to wire up enhanced recall. And what was our other one? I gotta change that. I'm just gonna say make all these changes. Again, if you're on X and you're watching, send me a DM. Tell me what you're working on. Do you run local models? Something else we've kind of experimented with a little bit tonight. Have you built any games? What games have you built? All right, back to Redliner. Let's see what we got over here now. Our research is done. All right, let's see what we got. We're going to start this just in case. Close these out. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. Oh, a blue engine. Almost made it. Should not blow the engine on that. Let's try again. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Everything seems pretty good except that last gear. So what I did here, just told it that gears 1 through 3 seemed pretty good, but that last gear, the 4th gear, even with letting off the gas, only having 2 bars in the red, engine will blow. Still too tight for rookie. So basically what it's saying is it adjusted your, when you let off the throttle, that it's decaying that throttle value faster is really what it's saying, I believe. Just to make sure we got new code. Make sure. It's hard to refresh that. Yeah, see, it's still. Uh-oh. My system's flaking again. What is eating my system up, man? I think that was still running, to be honest with you. We're going to give them another shot to look at it here, and then we're going to do something else. I gave them 2 shots. Let's see. Now we're back to our gearing is all wrong. This is a hard game for models. The physics is a tough for them to hold on to. Well, first of all, they can't do math. They have to use tools to do math. Gotta get this game over with. This is the slowest drag car in the world. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna make it think about what it did here.